Hello, I'm back. So, I had my first driving lesson today, and I was nervous as all hell because the only time I ever drove was like a month and a half ago, and I was in a parking lot, and it was only for like 10 minutes. So I was scared out of my freaking mind. So the instructor texted me and was like, if you're ready, we can go early. I was like, yes, I'm ready. Because I was so nervous. And just sitting here until 10 o'clock, like twiddling my thumbs and like being nervous as hell was like not helping me. Like I was in and out of that bathroom. I swear I lost like 5 pounds from being so nervous. But anyway, so the whole time I was like, so like, is he gonna get out of the car and like, or am I just gonna go straight into the driver's seat? Because like I'm awkward. I need to know these things ahead of time. So I go out there and he's like, yeah, you just get in the passenger seat. I'm like, okay. The awkwardness didn't happen. So then he takes me to the parking lot, my work parking lot nonetheless. And he drove us there, and then he was teaching me as he was driving around in the parking lot, like showing me like how to do the handover. That's not how you do it, but the hand over hand technique to do the 9 and 3 and all that shit, and show me like the windshield wipers, the blinkers, and all the shit. So it was like maybe like 20-30 minutes of him in the driver's seat, like showing me everything. And then he was like, all right, time to switch seats. And I'm like, oh fuck. My heart's like, and I'm like, I was trying not to show it because I don't know the guy. So we switch seats. I sit down, do my seatbelt, and then he's like, all right, like see how everything is, like adjust everything. And I'm like, I don't know what everything's supposed to look like what am I adjusting up here, like what am I supposed to be seeing? And then he was like, adjust your mirrors over here. I'm like, how do I know, like what am I supposed to be seeing? So then he was like, you make sure you just see a little bit of this handle, and then blah, blah, blah. So then we finally figured that out. And then figuring out like my foot situation, so I can rest my, like the heel of my foot, so I can be like going like that. That was difficult. It took me a couple tries. So then he just had me get used to having my foot on the brake, and then you have to hit like this button to do the gears. So I was doing that, and then he was like, he gave me a good tip, because I'm dyslexic, so it's hard for me to do my left and rights. So when I was doing the blinkers, he said lower is left. So every time he said go left, I was like lower, left, lower, left. And then he'd be like, make it right. I'm like lower, left, right, up. So he had me drive around in the parking lot, and then there was this one spot where there was like these yellow squares with these poles in them. So he was like, go over there, make a turn, right, that's good. And he was like, go a little further, there's a stop sign, and you gotta stop right at the line. And as I'm just going up to it, I stop, and I see this lady walking 2 dogs. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm not trying to murder these dogs today. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait for them to go. He's like, no, you're fine, just go. I'm like, so I went, I did it, and then we did that like 3 or 4 times. We were probably driving in the parking lot, maybe like 15 to 20 minutes, and then he was like, all right, exit out of the parking lot. And I was like, oh fuck, I've never driven outside of a parking lot before. And so where he took me is out of the parking lot, and then I went in through this development, and I was just cruising around a development, making turns. And that was helping me. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. And then he said, yeah, go all the way to the end of the street, and it's a freaking main road. And I was terrified. Like, I was so scared, and it didn't help that I'm here, and the main road's here, and I'm trying to turn right, and oncoming traffic, 3 fucking semi trucks, and I'm scared to death of them things, even when I'm not driving. So he's like, all right, you can turn. So I'm turning. I'm like, oh shit. he started laughing. He was like, I like your commentary. I'm like, I can't help it, I'm Italian. I start cursing. He's like, me too. So I'm like losing my mind because I'm on a fucking main road. I've never driven before. So I was sweating. I didn't know I was sweating. And I'll get to that after. So somehow I didn't know he had a GPS on. So at one point I only missed one turn because I had no idea he had a GPS on, because most of the time he was like, all right, we're coming up to a stop sign, or we're coming up to a red light, turn at this one, turn at that one. So I was just doing what he was telling me to do. And then I realized like he had the GPS on, and then he was like, oh, we were supposed to turn there, but that's okay. And I was like, oh, and I looked down and it said rerouting. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going or where I'm at. Somehow we ended up in New Egypt. I told my sister that. She was like, I've never even been to New Egypt. And when we ended up there, he had me turn into a New Egypt school. And because I was having a hard time maintaining a speed, because it would be like 50, I almost said 50 degrees. The speed limit would be like 50, and I'd be going like 40. And then he was like, speed up a little bit, and then I'd be going like 52, and I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I was having a hard time. So he was like, pull over in the parking lot. I was like, I don't know how to pull over. I don't know how to park. so then he was like, so I put my brake on, I park, and then he was like, just change your seating. So I think I did it a little closer. Yeah, I had my seat up a little bit closer, and then I was like going back and forth. I'm like, I think this is okay now. And then coming from being parked to going back out is a little hard, because then you gotta like maneuver it. So I was just like, whew. And then at one point, I don't know what the fuck happened, but he was like, okay, we're gonna do a K-turn. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. He's like, I know you don't. So we were in the middle of a fucking road, but there was nobody there. And then he was like, turn your wheel like this, and I did that. And then he was like, put it in reverse, and then turn your wheel like this, and I did that. The whole time I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Somehow I did it, and he said I did it great, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I just did. But anyway, so the whole time he was just saying, yeah, you're doing really good, you're doing excellent, you're doing great. I just gotta work on like maintaining my speed and everything. But he was like, that just takes time. And it was only like twice that he had to take the wheel. It wasn't anything crazy. I was just going a little slow, so he just did it a little faster for me. And yeah, only twice he took the wheel, and all he had was a brake pedal. That was it that he had. He was like, don't get scared if I take the wheel, I'm just helping. He's like, don't take your hands off the wheel, because I'm only doing it slightly. But yeah, he only did it twice. And then at the end, I drove back to my house, and I was like, I don't know how to park. Even though I did it earlier, I just don't know how to do it again. He's like, it's okay. He's like, just slow up, and then you can just like glide over here. And I'm like, I don't know. So I missed the one, so I had to keep going, because it was like the street here, and then the curb, and then another curb. So I'm like, I'm not gonna just park in the middle of the fucking street. So I just went a little bit over, and I was like diagonal from my apartment. So so I finally parked, and I did okay. I was scared as shit. I put my flashers on, because he was like going down all the list of stuff that we did, and then he was like, you did really good, you did excellent. I was like, if you say so. I don't know what the fuck I did. So then he shook my hand and he was like, yeah, see you next week. I fucking ran home, because it was just across the street. And as I'm walking up my steps, I'm like, oh my god, like my wrists were killing me, because I had a death grip on there. I was so fucking nervous. And then I looked in the mirror. I had a hot pink shirt on. I looked in the mirror. I looked like Josh Peck when he was doing the news. I had these sweat stains like this. I was sweating my ass off. I was so nervous. Woo! It was so much adrenaline for 2 hours driving that as soon as I got home, I just collapsed in the bed. I was like, I can't do it. And I was still shaking for like a good 30 minutes. I was just in bed like, and then I look over at my boyfriend. I was like, I just drove. It's so scary. Excuse me. But next Wednesday I have another one, and we're gonna be doing like some fucking reversing and parallel parking and all that shit, so I'm gonna be scared as fuck again. But if anyone's learning to drive, even if you're a teenager or even if you're my age, a little older, try to like just be, I know it's hard because I was fucking terrified, but like after like a good like 10 to 15 minutes I was more relaxed, but I was still scared, but I was more like, but every once in a while I'd be like, I'd tense up. But I hope you enjoyed that because I was scared as shit. But that was fun. I have another week. Maybe my sister will let me drive a little bit, but I'm still a little nervous. Not as scared as I was before, but we'll see. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.